Canada. Now this is going to be a fun one. Sorry I'm a bit late. I had a bit of a mess last night, so I couldn't do it last night. But better late than never. Yeah, this is going to be, whoa, this is a big one. So, starting with the race, everything went normal, and then Lewis just showed really great race pace, as was going to be expected, because also in free practice, just on those hard tires, he was just fast. And I think, Montreal is one of Lewis's best tracks in the whole world. I think it's probably Montreal in Hungary. So he is always flying on that track, and it's always going to be difficult to beat him there. So again, Lewis flying, putting pressure on Vettel. Now, please let me explain to you that from the outside, it doesn't look that hard. But I promise you, and I've been there many, many times, when Lewis is stuck in your gearbox for the 1.5 hours, it is one of the most extreme situations to be in, because as the guy in front, you can't even make a single mistake. So you can never allow yourself to go close to the limit. Whereas if you're the guy behind, you can always go looking for the limit, because if you make a mistake, no problem. You lose half a second, you lock up a bit, go wide, and then you have another 2 laps and you can get straight back into the gearbox. So it's much easier to follow than to be in front, because the guy in front can't allow a single mistake. So he has to stay away from the limit all the time. That makes it so challenging. And so Lewis behind is just unbelievably such a big threat always, and piles on huge pressure. And then now we get to that lap. I don't know when it was, a couple of laps from the end. Please let me know your comments as well. Do you think Vettel was robbed or not? And here we go. Now you get my opinion. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, I'm sure. Okay, so it's the same as usual, first of all. When Lewis and Vettel are together, Lewis puts the pressure on. And let me just start this with saying, I wish nothing more than for Vettel to do a great job and to win and have a great fight with Lewis in the championship, because that's what we all want. So I was rooting for Vettel out there, and I would love him to do well, and that would be amazing. And so just to begin with. But however, again, we saw this typical thing that when the pressure is on and when it's a battle between Lewis and Vettel, Vettel just makes those mistakes. And once again, he made that mistake again this time. Just, the pressure is on lap after lap, and boom, he goes off the track. So Vettel goes off the track and then comes back on the track. So now Vettel was screaming, I had dirt on my tires, I was out of control, where do you want me to go? I was struggling to control the car, and I couldn't see Lewis. Okay, great, but Lewis is there. So the rule says, when you go off the track, you need to rejoin safely. So Vettel went all the way across, and I think he could have easily left a little bit more space, especially in the latter phase, like after Lewis started braking. He could have easily left more space. He didn't. He went right all the way there, left hardly any space to Lewis, and so Lewis saw it as a dangerous situation because Vettel was coming for more and more, so he had to back out of it. And I looked at the replay many times. Lewis would have been in the wall had he stayed there, because right afterwards, Vettel continued to move over more and more, and it was so tight, Lewis would have touched either Vettel or the wall, and so it's very clear that unfortunately it was an unsafe returning to the track. So that's the rule. So you have to return safely, and that's the way it is. So there's a penalty is deserved in that case, and my father said to me, it's probably 60-40. 60 penalty, 40 not. And I was like, why 40 not? Well, because, he was just out of control and he couldn't do better than that because he had dirt on his tires and he was coming from the grass and everything. And I say, okay, fine, I know that. But so what? You still have to return safely. And if you're out of control, then you're not returning safely. So that's it. Penalty is deserved, and you can't. It's not a valid excuse. Oh, I was out of control. I had dirty tires, and I couldn't see Lewis. Not a valid excuse, unfortunately. So the penalty is full deserved. Absolutely full deserved penalty. And that's it. So let me just look at my notes. But also let me just say that in this case, I fully agree with all of you that it sucks to have these kind of penalties, because we want to see some great racing, and this was great racing. We want to see some wheel-to-wheel, some contacts and everything. I see all of you are saying robbed, so I'm a bit in minority here, but anyways, I'm even getting a mafia now, but I promise you I'm completely neutral. I'm even getting some Italian hate now. Wow, okay. I'm very sorry, but this is my strong opinion. And I tell you, my opinion is a fact. There's no discussing about this. I know what I'm talking about, and I guarantee you that's the way it was. I got a £2. I got a donation whilst saying you're not a racer anymore. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, and but I agree with all of you. We shouldn't have this kind of rule in such situations because it's just boring, and we want to see racing, and we want to see Vettel win in a case like this. So again, I agree with that. I want to see Vettel win. But at some point, you need a rule because some of those guys are just too crazy out there. And you need a rule at some point because otherwise, if you just leave it completely up to them, it's going to be gloves off out there. And I mean, I know we want to see that, but at some point it gets too dangerous. So you need a rule, and the rule needs to say something, and we need to stick to it. So in this case, unfortunately, we had to stick to the rules, and then the penalty is absolutely fully deserved. So let me just look at my notes, and then we go after that. And then again, this is Sebastian's weakness, and I'm so sorry to say that again because I wish I could say how awesome Sebastian is, like I did yesterday in qualifying actually, but I can't because after that, instead of complaining on the radio when a decision is made, which you know that you can't influence anymore anyways, he just keeps complaining and complaining rather than focusing on the damn driving and trying to get those 5 seconds out when he was already at 3.3 seconds. Damn, like just focus and nail those laps, and you have a chance there still to win this thing. So I don't know, man. So that was a weakness again from Vettel, that he's just so has such strong self-belief and always thinks that he's in the right, and then always wants to blame other people, and then he just loses focus in those moments and doesn't make the most of it. So that was not great to see from him. And then also after the race, all those gestures and disrespectful comments, calling the stewards blind men and all that. It's just unnecessary. It's not very good. Although, I mean, watching the TV, yeah, awesome. I love the entertainment, and I think all of us loved it. So, okay, fine, but it's still not very good. Not very good to do that, and he should see that he's the one who made the mistake. He's the one who made the mistake. The rule is there, and that's it. It's pretty simple. Yeah. So what happened then after the race? What else? Yeah, Lewis. I mean, you can't blame Lewis for anything. He just did what he did, and that's it. Can't blame him for anything. So, and one more thing. Just remember that you need to see the situation not with the way it was. Imagine the situation if Lewis had not backed out. That's the crucial one, because Lewis backed out because he thought it was too high risk to stay in there because he was going to be in the wall, rightly so, because then Vettel closed the gap enough to be in the wall. And that's what you need to judge. What would have happened if Lewis would have stayed there? And I guarantee you, if you look at the replay, there's not enough space. As the whole runoff area, the red space, sort of closes up, and Vettel is touching the white line there, and there's not enough space for a car out there. So Lewis would have been in the wall. And that's the situation that needs to be judged. Okay, then where am I at? I'll just take a few questions, actually. So I see a lot of you are saying robbed. So most of you are on Vettel's side, actually, which is funny. I would have thought more like 50-50. Let me see that. He is a 4-time champion. You are not, Nico. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I agree. He's an amazing driver. FIA ruined the race. Preaching. Yeah, so it's strange. Like most of you are really like for Vettel and for Ferrari, which I'm surprised about that. Okay, actually, it's more 50-50. Nico saying what people are scared to. Yeah, I don't care. I'm complete neutral here. Okay, then let me just cover a few other guys. Vettel, okay, Lewis got him. Amazing. I mean, Lewis just every time he's just out there, and the racing god is on his side as well, though. Huh? It's just unbelievable. He's crazy. He just always gets it. So he's getting a big championship lead now, which is also well deserved. You've got Leclerc. Leclerc as well did a good job in the race. I think, again, he messed up a little bit in qualifying, but great pace in the race. He was always there. Ferrari, let's note that as well, completely messed up his strategy. Again, dropped him behind Verstappen, cost him a huge amount of time. Otherwise, he would be P2 on the podium easily. He would have beaten Vettel. So again, Ferrari strategy, they really need to look at that because it's just going wrong all the time. So please, Ferrari, we need you to look at that, please. I don't know, change some people around, do whatever. I don't know, make an analysis. Because please just get your strategies right. And then Leclerc, he's going to be a great champion of the future. He's doing so well and putting the pressure on Vettel as well. And I think in all this, you can also see how much pressure Vettel has on him. It's just huge. Also, after qualifying, the whole emotions that came out. and then in the race, the pressure he has, it's huge, it's massive, because everything's just been going wrong. And then when that opportunity comes for a win, it just goes wrong again, and he messed it up. He made the mistake. He's the guy to blame in the first place. Then P4, Bottas had his typical day off. Just in race pace, sometimes he has these complete days off and he's just nowhere. And so Bottas had his day off again, and that's his Achilles heel. That's his worst issue, because qualifying, one could argue that he's the faster guy on average at the moment on one lap compared to Lewis, which is pretty impressive. And then, but on race pace, he just lacks it. He lacks it, and he's just had a day off. After that comes, who came after that? I can't remember. Probably Ricciardo or something like that. Can't remember. Well, Ricciardo anyways. Awesome weekend, Ricciardo. Whoa, great stuff for Renault. Wicked driving all around. Hülkenberg faster in the race though, so he made a comeback on pace, putting pressure on Ricciardo. So both of those drivers did well. Verstappen, wherever he was, just got compromised and did the best he could. And after that, Sainz, I think, did well for McLaren. Bowen, you're asking me from the podcast that I did with Daniel Ricciardo if he used my advice. And yes, it very much looked like it on the brake balance. So, and it's because of him that I had to beep it out, by the way. Huh? He asked me to kindly beep out the pure details of what to do with the brake balance. So I just, I accepted because he was quite kind enough to do the podcast. Okay, so that's it from me. Thank you for watching. And please like as well, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. I would appreciate that. And bye-bye. I'm actually, have a look, I'm in my dad's office here in the country house with all his trophies. So I can pick one out. And it is, which one would I pick out? I would pick out one, well, first of all, cool, look at this. You got this thing here. Mine and my dad's winning car. World Championship mini scale. He's got all the mini helmets here. Mika's helmet, because my dad managed him. Mine, my dad's helmet. Got a cool F40 here. Let me just pick out one cool trophy. Let's go for the big ones. Trophy, Race of Champions. Which one am I going for? Detroit, second place. Where am I going to get a first place here? No first place. Damn, only second places. Second place. Okay, anyways, so Detroit, 1985, 1983. Second place, Formula 1. There we go. And it's just full of these trophies all around the room here. Look at that. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you for the next one. Subscribe to the channel.